On October 22, 2021, a routine traffic stop escalated into a striking example of the dangers and consequences of impaired driving. This incident is more than just another DUI arrest. It illustrates how a series of poor choices can turn a seemingly minor traffic violation into a complex legal ordeal involving multiple individuals. It is a case study in impaired judgment, heightened emotions, and the stark realities of law enforcement. The events of that night highlight the importance of responsible decision-making regarding alcohol consumption and driving. This situation serves as a cautionary tale, demonstrating that driving under the influence can have far-reaching effects, impacting not only the individuals involved, but also their families, friends, and the broader community. Scene 1. The initial stop and signs of impairment. The incident began when a vehicle ran a red light, nearly causing a collision and putting other drivers and pedestrians in danger. A nearby officer, witnessing the violation, initiated a routine traffic stop. As the officer approached the driver, her immediate reaction conveyed inconvenience and frustration, responses frequently observed in impaired individuals who may struggle with processing the gravity of their situation. Instead of promptly providing the requested documents, the driver fumbled through her purse, eventually handing over a dental insurance card instead of her driver's license and vehicle registration. This minor yet telling mistake hinted at potential cognitive impairment. Trained to recognize signs of intoxication, the officer took note of her difficulty focusing and continued the standard DUI investigation protocol. When asked about alcohol consumption, the driver provided a vague and inconsistent response. She admitted to being at Applebee's, but hesitated when asked whether she had been drinking, stating that they had just started. Her ambiguous response, combined with her earlier confusion over documentation, further reinforced the officer's suspicions that she might be under the influence. To complicate matters, the passenger in the vehicle interjected during the conversation, adding another layer of uncertainty to the situation. The passenger's involvement raised questions about her own level of awareness and potential impairment, increasing the complexity of the unfolding events. Scene 2. Document requests and field sobriety test refusal. The officer continued attempting to obtain the necessary documentation, including proof of insurance and vehicle registration. However, the driver continued to struggle, reinforcing the impression that she was impaired. Her slurred speech, unsteady movements, and glassy eyes further validated the officer's concerns. These observations, along with the inconsistencies in her statements and her apparent difficulty producing the correct documents, led the officer to request a field sobriety test. Field sobriety tests are designed to evaluate balance, coordination, and cognitive function, key indicators of impairment. However, the driver refused to participate. While individuals have the right to decline such tests, refusal often heightens an officer's suspicion and can contribute to establishing probable cause for arrest. In this case, the driver's refusal, combined with her erratic behavior and the officer's observations, significantly strengthened the case for further investigation. At this point, the situation had escalated beyond a simple traffic stop, moving toward a full DUI investigation. Scene 3. Arrival of a second officer and passenger escalation. As is standard in many DUI cases, a second officer arrived on the scene to provide additional support. The presence of an additional officer not only enhances safety for all parties involved, but also allows for a more thorough and objective assessment of the situation. However, this shift also often heightens the tension for the individuals being investigated, as the gravity of the situation becomes more apparent. With the arrival of the second officer, the passenger, who had remained in the vehicle up until this point, exited.
Yeah, you observed that she's intoxicated, correct?
Yes.
She began questioning the officer's actions and motives, inserting herself into the ongoing investigation. Her behavior raised concerns that she, too, might be impaired. Her increasing agitation suggested an attempt to obstruct the investigation, further complicating an already tense situation. At this stage, the officers were not only dealing with a potentially intoxicated driver, but also managing an escalating secondary individual whose interference threatened to disrupt the investigation. The passenger's involvement underscored the broader implications of impaired driving. Not only does it put the driver at risk, but it also endangers passengers and anyone else involved in the situation. Scene 4. Passenger's reaction and driver's escalation. As officers moved to place the driver in handcuffs, the passenger's involvement intensified. Without any clear provocation, she collapsed to the ground, an act that raised immediate concerns about her level of intoxication. Whether her reaction was deliberate or a result of genuine impairment, it complicated the situation further, turning a straightforward DUI stop into a far more intricate encounter involving two possibly impaired individuals. The driver, who had thus far remained relatively composed, suddenly exhibited a dramatic shift in demeanor. Seeing her friend on the ground appeared to ignite a strong emotional response, and she began resisting arrest. Officers had to physically guide her toward the patrol car as she struggled against their attempts to detain her. Such unpredictable mood swings are frequently associated with intoxicated individuals whose emotional states can shift rapidly, often resulting in impulsive and erratic behavior. Scene 5. Intensified resistance and arrests. The situation escalated further when the passenger actively resisted officers, at one point kicking one of them. This act of aggression significantly heightened the charges against her, transitioning the situation from simple non-compliance to assault on law enforcement. The severity of such an offense carries serious legal consequences, including the potential for extended incarceration and substantial fines. Ultimately, both women were taken into custody. What had initially started as a routine traffic stop for running a red light had quickly evolved into multiple arrests with a wide range of charges. The driver faced accusations of DUI and resisting arrest, while the passenger's actions resulted in additional legal complications. Each decision they made during the encounter further amplified their legal jeopardy, with each moment of resistance increasing the severity of their circumstances. At the detention center, the consequences of their behavior continued to unfold. While being processed, the passenger was discovered to have slipped free from her hobble restraints, a clear indication of her ongoing defiance. Additionally, authorities found a Xanax pill in her possession for which she had no prescription, further exacerbating her legal predicament. The discovery of the unprescribed substance introduced the possibility of additional drug-related charges, adding yet another layer of complexity to the case. Scene 6. Blood alcohol levels and charges. The driver's blood alcohol concentration, BAC, was later tested and found to be significantly above the legal threshold, reinforcing officers' initial suspicions. The results confirmed her level of intoxication and solidified the DUI charge, emphasizing the gravity of her decision to operate a vehicle while impaired. The final compilation of charges against both individuals was extensive, reflecting the series of events that had unfolded from the moment officers initiated the traffic stop. The driver's BAC registered at .279 and .281, far exceeding the legal limit. In addition to the DUI charge, she was cited for running a red light and failing to provide proof of insurance. She also faced multiple additional offenses, including disorderly intoxication, 2 counts of resisting arrest without violence, 2 counts of resisting with violence, and 2 counts of battery on a peace officer. Her bond was set at $2,263, underscoring the seriousness of the charges against her. The passenger also faced numerous legal repercussions. She was charged with 2 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer, 2 counts of resisting arrest with violence, 1 count of resisting without violence, and 1 count of disorderly intoxication. While in custody, her refusal to comply continued, leading to an additional charge of resisting without violence after she managed to remove her hobble restraints. This further demonstrated her defiance and added yet another complication to an already serious legal situation. Scene 7. Conclusion. This incident serves as a powerful reminder of the far-reaching consequences of impaired driving. It's not just about the initial act of driving under the influence, but the ripple effect that follows. A single poor decision can lead to devastating outcomes, affecting not only the driver, but also their loved ones and the community. What may seem like a minor traffic violation can quickly escalate into a serious legal situation. This highlights the importance of making responsible choices, especially regarding alcohol consumption and driving. The message is clear. If you plan to drink, plan for a safe ride home. One reckless decision can lead to years of regret. A DUI arrest carries long-term consequences, including financial burdens, loss of driving privileges, and a criminal record that can impact employment and future opportunities. This serves as a strong deterrent, urging individuals to consider the potential fallout before making a dangerous choice.